Some horror stories are written to scare you. Others were lived by real people. No monsters, no curses written for movies, no fiction. Just real events so disturbing, so unbelievable, that if they were written as a novel, you'd call them fake. Tonight we explore top 10 true horror stories that sound like fiction. And the most terrifying part? Every single one actually happened. 10. Dyatlov Pass, the incident no one could explain. In 1959, 9 experienced hikers entered the Ural Mountains of Russia. None of them returned alive. When rescue teams finally found their campsite, they discovered something horrifying. The tent had been ripped open from the inside, as if the hikers were desperately trying to escape. Their bodies were scattered across the snow, some barefoot, some half-dressed in freezing temperatures. Several had crushed skulls and broken ribs, yet no external wounds. One victim was missing her tongue. Radiation was found on some clothing. The Soviet government closed the case, blaming an unknown compelling force. Decades later, no explanation fully fits. Whatever chased them that night terrified trained hikers enough to flee into certain death. 9. Cecil Hotel. The elevator footage that still haunts the internet. In 2013, Elisa Lam, a 21-year-old student, vanished inside the Cecil Hotel. Days later, hotel guests complained about low water pressure and strange taste. Maintenance workers checked the rooftop water tanks and found Elisa's body inside. But what made the case infamous was the elevator footage. In the video, Elisa appears terrified, pressing buttons, hiding, talking to someone who isn't there. The footage looks like a scene from a horror film. Authorities ruled her death accidental. But how did she access the locked roof? Why did the video feel edited? And who or what was she reacting to inside that elevator? 8. Isdal Valley. The woman with no identity. In 1970, a woman's burned body was found in Norway's Isdal Valley. All identification labels had been removed from her clothing. Her fingerprints didn't match any database. Nearby were sleeping pills, burned belongings, and a strange smell of gasoline. Authorities discovered she had used multiple fake identities across Europe. Her death was ruled suicide, but nothing made sense. No family ever came forward, no real name was discovered. To this day, the Isdal woman remains unidentified. It's as if she appeared from nowhere and vanished back into it. 7. Hinterkaifeck, the farm where someone lived with the dead. In 1922 Germany, an entire family was brutally murdered on a remote farm. But the most horrifying detail came later. Investigators realized someone had stayed in the house for days after the murders. Food was eaten, animals were fed, fires were lit, footsteps were found in the attic. The killer was never identified. Imagine sleeping under a roof where the dead lay hidden, while their murderer quietly lived among them. 6. Kyshtym disaster, a town that was erased. In 1957, a massive nuclear explosion occurred at a secret Soviet facility. Entire villages were evacuated, but never informed why. People were exposed to lethal radiation without warning. Children glowed in the dark. Livestock mutated. The government denied the incident for decades. Official records barely exist. The land remains contaminated to this day. The horror wasn't just the explosion, it was the silence. Millions were poisoned and told nothing. 5. Lawang Sewu, the prison of screams. Lawang Sewu, meaning thousand doors, was used as a prison during World War II. Prisoners were tortured, starved, and executed underground. Survivors reported hearing screams echoing through corridors at night. Even today, guards and visitors report footsteps, voices, and apparitions. But unlike fictional haunted houses, this one's horror is fully documented. The deaths were real, the pain was real, and the building never forgot. 4. Aokigahara Forest, where people go to disappear. At the base of Mount Fuji lies Aokigahara Forest. For decades, people have gone there to end their lives. Bodies are found every year, some never discovered. The forest is unnaturally silent. Compasses malfunction, trails vanish. Volunteers describe finding personal items laid out neatly, as if the owners wanted to be remembered, but not found. It's not just a forest, it's a place where hope quietly dies. 3. Unit 731, Experiments that Sound Inhuman. During World War II, Unit 731 conducted human experiments so horrific they sound fictional. Prisoners were frozen alive, dissected without anesthesia, and exposed to biological weapons. Children were not spared. After the war, many responsible were granted immunity in exchange for their data. The truth remained hidden for decades. This isn't a horror movie. This is documented history, and it's worse than fiction. 2. The Somerton Man. The man who left no trace. In 1948, a dead man was found on a beach in Australia. No ID, no missing person reports. Inside his pocket was a paper reading Tamam Shud, meaning ended. A coded message was later discovered, never fully deciphered. His identity remained unknown for over 70 years. Some believe he was a spy. Others believe something stranger. A man appeared and disappeared without explanation. 1. Kola Superdeep Borehole. Digging too deep. The deepest hole ever drilled by humans reached over 12 kilometers into the earth. Scientists recorded strange sounds from below, later rumored to be screams. While the scream story is debated, the project was abruptly abandoned due to extreme heat and unexplained problems. The deeper they drilled, the more unstable conditions became. Humanity stopped, not because it couldn't continue, but because it didn't want to. These stories prove one chilling truth. Reality doesn't need imagination to be terrifying. The world hides horrors that don't scream. They whisper. They leave behind unanswered questions. And sometimes, the scariest stories are the ones with proof. Because fiction ends when the book closes. But reality stays with you.